Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Wait, I gotta return this text. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let me tell you guys what happened this morning. If you're on Facebook, hey, new butterfly VSG. So if you guys are on Facebook, then you already know what happened to me this morning. But yeah, I live in this multi-racial community with white people, black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, a little bit of everybody in my neighborhood. And you know how I live in this neighborhood for like the last 11 years. And I always walk in my neighborhood, or not even just in my neighborhood, in my community, because I'll go outside my neighborhood and just walk, in the bigger streets. And so I decided to walk this morning like I normally do. And this car full of white people are driving down the street. I'm walking. I don't think anything, because I'm always doing this. It's nothing normal, nothing out of the normal. But one guy, the guy in the passenger side in the front, he pulls down the window, sticks his head out, and calls me a nigger. Calls me a nigger. Like, he doesn't know me. You don't know me, sir. But it really broke my heart, because not just because of what he did, but it broke my heart because it was a car full of white people, and the people that were in the car with him just started laughing like it was cute. And y'all, that really broke my heart. So it really hurt me. And I'm a big baby. I act like I'm not a big baby, but I am a big baby, okay? And it made me cry. And because you see all of this stuff happen in the media, and it's so funny because earlier this week in this Facebook group that I'm in, we were talking about our early childhood experiences with racism and how did we know that we were black. And I was talking about how me and my brother, when I was younger, I was probably about 14, 15. My brother is about 15, 16. And I was coming back from New York one summer from visiting my family, and I used the train. I used to ride Amtrak all the time. And so my brother, he picked me up one summer in his little hoopty, and the police stopped us at the train station and had the drug dogs search my bags. So the drug dogs smelled the bags, they pulled everything out of my brother's car, and they searched the bags. Of course, they didn't find anything. I'm like 14, 15, but I guess in retrospect that me and my brother fit the description of drug traffickers. And because, usually, I guess what happens is that the girl will drug traffic the drugs and the man would, take it and sell it. I don't know. And my hair looks a mess. But I don't know, but I guess we fit the description. And so it's just so interesting that I was talking about that story earlier this week, and then this happens. And it's like, wow, the more that we think that things stay the same, the more that we think that things change, the more they just really just stay the same. It is stupid. It is really, really stupid. But it really hurt my feelings. And it made me think, how do I protect myself? If I am by myself, I'm thinking about the first person that came to my mind was Jamard Aubrey, the guy that was running in the neighborhood, and the people shot him. So he came to my mind, and I'm like, well, damn, how do I protect myself when things like this happen? It's just really crazy. And I came back home and I got my little mace that I bought from my hairstylist probably about 10 years ago, and I'm sure that this doesn't even work, and it's probably all dried up. I don't know, but I'm gonna start wearing it. And it's so interesting because my daughter's father, my daughter's with her dad, my daughter's father just happened to call me after this all happened, and he's like, I said, James, I said, guess what happened? I started telling him what happened, and he was like, where are you? I'm coming to get you. I'm like, I'm okay. And he's like, you need to get a gun. I keep telling you need to get a gun. I'm like, I don't want to get a gun because I don't want to have to shoot nobody, but I need to get a gun because these people are crazy. People are crazy. And Trump has really brought out the audacity in everybody. So I may be getting a gun or something because James wants me to get a gun now. And he's been telling me to get one because he's ex-military, ex-police, and he's really big on protection. But I'm like, I don't want to have to shoot nobody, James. but he wants to train me, so we'll just see how that works. But whew, that was a very eventful morning, you guys. Very eventful morning, but it is what it is. All right, so I wanted to check in. This is week 5, and you know what's interesting? What's interesting is that it has really taken me all of these 5 weeks to get my mind together, get my mind right. And I feel like I am just now getting into the groove of, you know, kind of my fitness groove. And when I say in the groove, I mean kind of just being kind of motivated, self-motivated, not having to drag myself out of the bed, not having to talk myself into it as much as I had to in the beginning. Like sometimes I still have to focus on my self-talk because I'm still pretty early on getting back into the grind, but it's getting so much easier now. And so I love this week 5 because I'm really like feeling like the benefits of it, and it's starting to really feel good. I'm starting to feel like that boss chick that I like to feel like. And so I love it. I love it. I love it. My hair, y'all, what am I gonna do with my hair? I think I'm gonna put some more braids in or something. But anyway, all right, so I wanted to talk about a few tips, and hopefully somebody will come on and join me, but if not, I'm gonna give my check-in and I'll be done. But I wanted to talk about being the new girl at the gym. So you guys know that I was at the YMCA for about 8 years, and I love the YMCA. I love the people. I love the equipment. I got used to the equipment, and now I'm at a new gym. I'm at Planet Fitness, and it's very intimidating. I remember when I first joined the YMCA, actually, it was still very intimidating, and the YMCA had this really small room, and I would go into the little small room that they had to the side, and that's where I would work out because I was like 300 and something pounds, and so I felt really comfortable hiding my body because I didn't feel really comfortable in my body and comfortable seeing people exercising. I didn't feel comfortable walking on the street. Wow, you know, it's so interesting because now I just go out and I just walk, I run, I do all these things like in public, and I take it for granted because when I first got started, I just remember that when I first got started, I was so hyper focused on what people would see and their reaction to what they would see in terms of my body, because I was so uncomfortable in my skin because of the weight and all of my perceptions and stigma around being plus sized. So yeah, I just remember that. I really do take where I am now for granted. And so that's why I think that it's important to kind of do this type of video, because people are sometimes new to fitness and they are uncomfortable within the skin that they're in. And so I wanted to share 5 tips that I have kind of learned over the years that helped me to get comfortable being the new girl at the gym. And I'm having to now use these skills again because, like I said, I've rejoined a new gym, and it is super intimidating because this particular gym is much bigger than the YMCA, and it has a lot of equipment that I'm just not familiar with, and it's really intimidating. It makes me feel like I'm the newbie. It makes me feel like I'm vulnerable. It makes me feel like people are looking at me like I'm stupid, like I'm gonna be on somebody's social media page because I'm using something wrong, because I'm big, and they're gonna, you know, social media world, you know how they do. You're gonna be on World Star Hip Hop or something, World Star, whatever you call that place, that thing. But all right, so here's some tips. So tip number 1, and I wrote them down so I won't forget. Y'all, my hair is all over the place. Okay, so number 1, when you join a new gym, more times than not, they will offer you at least 1 free personal training session. So they sometimes offer 1, sometimes they offer 3, sometimes they offer 6 weeks or 6 sessions of just personal training. So as a newbie at the gym, you can always you can always monopolize on the fact that they are going to allow you those free sessions. Hey Sharon, good morning. That they're going to allow you those free sessions, so take advantage of them. Sharon, I was just talking about what happened to me this morning. I be wanting to curse people out sometimes, but I didn't. I just cried like a baby, and my baby daddy called me. It was like, "Are you okay?" He wanted to come get me, but I'm all right. Anyway, all right. So tip number 1, take advantage of the free, no, actually it's a free tour. So when you first join the gym, they do a tour, and in that tour, you can ask them about the equipment. And so you can get familiar with the equipment by asking them about the equipment. Tip number 2, you can actually take advantage of the free personal training sessions that they give you. They give you between 1 to 3 to 6 free personal training sessions. So take advantage of those so that you can have someone that is very familiar with the equipment, very familiar with the gym, to kind of teach you and walk you through all of the equipment so that you can know what to use. And also, when you get those free personal training sessions, this is what I did when I first started working out. There's a friend of mine, or a friend of the family. His name is Carlos Sneed. I'm plugging him because he was a personal trainer at the time. And Carlos, I hired him for one session. I booked one session. And Carlos, he literally created a fitness plan for me. And he showed me different exercises. Like, he practiced the exercises with me. He wrote down workouts that I can do, and he showed me each workout, how to do them in terms of form and all that stuff. And so then I hired him just for that one session, just to have him show me it and show me how to do it properly. And then I just did it on my own. And that's for people that are like me, that don't like to spend the extra money on personal training. So that's an option. Just hire somebody for one session, or take advantage of the free ones that they give you when you join the gym. All right, another one that I have found that was very effective for me is I'm proud of you. I'm so sorry that happened. I am too, because you would think that, and we're in 2021, you would think that that would just not ever happen anymore. Like, that wouldn't be a thing, but it was a thing, and it just is what it is, and it just makes me more cognizant, and it makes me want to be more active. It just makes me want to be more active and just use my voice a little bit harder. All right, so you can go on your off day. So go on a day when your purpose is not to work out. Go with the intention of just getting familiar with the equipment. So that would just be going equipment to equipment. And on the equipment, on the side of the equipment, they have the name of the machine, and they have what body part the machine works, okay? And it will like have it has a picture of the body, and then it has like what body part highlighted on the side of the machine. So you can take the time one day, just go and look at the different machines, see what they work out, and then you can literally write yourself out, write down a list of all the machines. And then tip number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, tip number 4 is take that information that you wrote down in your journal, and then you go to YouTube and YouTube it. So then you can YouTube each equipment. You can YouTube how the equipment works and see people practicing it and see the form that they use. And then you yourself, you can go back the next day when it's actually a scheduled gym day, and then you can work out. And then you just kind of use YouTube to kind of be your coach. And then if you want to schedule second personal training session, you can have them kind of watch you to make sure that you are practicing the correct form. And I use a mirror. Like, in the gym, they have in the weight side of the gym, they have these long mirrors. And so I use the long mirrors in order to look at how I'm performing the exercise. And so I really pay a lot of attention to my form so that I can make sure that I'm targeting the right area that I need to target, and that I'm contracting the way that I need to contract. Because, it's not just about going with momentum. It's about making sure that you're contracting, making sure that your muscles are getting the full benefit of the exercise that you are giving it. All right, so that is tip number 4. Tip number 5 is to use the smaller room. So as I was saying earlier when I first started working out, when I was like 300 and something pounds, this is before weight loss surgery, before all of, like, this is like when my son was like 2. I went to the gym, and they had this really small room, and usually the ladies go into that room. And even at Fitness Connection, they have a small ladies room. And in the smaller room, they have like one of each type of equipment. They have the weights. They have all those things that you need in order to get started on your journey. And it's easier mentally, emotionally, because you don't feel like people are watching you so much, because it is in an enclosed space. And when I get off of this, I'm going to go back, because I remember posting about that small room experience. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to just post the smaller room that I went to. And I just kind of use that as a reference for myself because of how far I've come. All right, so tip number, I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that was 5. So this is tip number 6. And this is the last one. So when all else fails, SOS it. So send an SOS to somebody that's there. Like people, like I tend to think that people are generally good. Despite what I went through this morning, I tend to believe that generally speaking, people are good, that people want to see you succeed. People, if they see that you're focused, that you're determined, that you want your goals, that you're trying to work on yourself, they want to help in any kind of way. And when you start to go in a gym, as you're more consistent, you will see people on a regular basis, especially if you go at the same time. I posted earlier today about my early morning workout crew. And these were the guys that every morning we would go at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And every morning we would all be there to support one another. And so they started seeing that I really wanted to accomplish these goals. And so they would really check on me. They would stop their exercise so that they can spot me if I needed to be spotted. They would show me how to do the exercise, all those things. They would encourage me. We would encourage each other. It was just really a good family. And so your gym, the people at your gym, if you go at the same time, especially, they become your family members and they check on you. And so SOS, meaning that if you need help, feel free to just ask someone. And I'll do it anytime. I'll say, hey, sir, I did that 2 days ago. I was like, hey, do you know where the machine is that does this with your legs? And he was like, yes, I do. And he showed me where it was. And so SOS, if you need an SOS, it could be a man, a woman, it don't matter. If you don't feel comfortable going up to another person, then ask someone that's a staff member. That's what they're there for. So make sure that you're using the supports that are there for you. So those are my 6 tips for a newbie that's just getting started with the gym. And you know what, I have to also say that a part of it is there is no ego when you're trying to change your life. So sometimes we can get very much in our ego in the sense that we're very focused, hyper-focused on ourselves and how we are perceived. And just remembering to take that lens off, remembering that everyone gets started somewhere. And really, if you are in the gym, if you're overweight and you're in the gym, that's the place that you need to be, okay? So taking the pressure off yourself, giving yourself grace is one of the major things that I have learned to do. And sometimes you just have to just suck it up and just say, hey, Miguel, good morning. Sometimes you just have to kind of just take off all of those negative thoughts that you might have about what you are experiencing and all that kind of stuff, okay? All right, so those are my tips. All right, here's my check-in. Sharon, if you want to post your check-in for today, I would love to hear how you're doing this week. So week 5 has been really good. I have been super motivated, and it took me 5 weeks to get to motivation. It took me 5 weeks to actually really start feeling it. And this week I really started to feel it. Sometimes I have like a full day of like back-to-back clients, and it really becomes really draining. And at the end of the day, I don't really want to work out because I'm really a morning person. And so it's really hard for me to work out at the end of the day. And so, but this week, there were 2 days that I had to work out at the end of the day due to daycare situations. And I was able to sustain my motivation throughout the whole day. And that made me so proud of myself because that's not typically Taisha. I would just not go. And so, but the way that I did that was I just literally, after my last client, I changed my clothes. I didn't sit down. I didn't go get something to eat. I just changed my clothes, put on my clothes, my workout clothes, and I just went to the gym. There was no thinking. I didn't try to talk myself out of it. I didn't give myself a moment to talk myself out of it. I literally just transitioned straight to the gym. And that is what works for me. Just like that's probably why I'm a morning person, because I get up, it becomes just a routine. I get up and I just go. I don't even second guess myself. And so that was the major thing. And in terms of once I got to the gym, I'm really happy with the effort that I gave this week. So, you know how last week I said that I was like, girl, you good after a couple of reps? This week I did all of the reps that I intended to give. I gave a really good effort, a moderate effort. It's still not my best effort, but I gave the effort that I needed to give this week, and I'm really proud of that. So now I think that my conditioning is where it needs to be. I can feel it still in my legs, that my muscles are still benefiting from the work that I'm doing. And so now I think that I'm ready to start adding weights. So that is what I'm going to be doing this week. I'm going to be adding weights to my exercises, and I'm excited about it. And I'm also happy about myself because I stayed on plan. I ate out once because me and my son have this thing where we have a date night every week, and so we always eat out for date night. And so I ate out for my date night with my son, but every other day I ate on plan. I still did not meal prep, and I'm going to tell you why. I did not. I was thinking about, well, Taisha, you like to meal prep, so why aren't you meal prepping? And I had to like sit and ask myself that question. And what I realized is that I wasn't meal prepping is because I wasn't going to buy groceries, and I wasn't buying groceries because I'm afraid to leave my house. So COVID is still going on, and I try to really minimize the amount of time that I leave my house. Like, I don't like to go to the stores now, especially if I have my daughter, because it's a lot to get her out of the car seat and to get her buckled back in. And I guess I'm just, sometimes I want to put forth the effort. I'll just rather, when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I'll just do it later. And so that is why I realized that I haven't been meal prepping. It's because I haven't gone to buy groceries, because I don't want to go to the stores. I don't want to go to the store with my daughter, and I don't want to take her out the car seat. That's too much for me. Even now, sometimes I'll just send Kingston in. Like, I have to buy small things, I'll just send Kingston in and he'll just do it, because I don't want to get out the car with Olympia. So what I did to kind of offset that, usually what I do is I'll go shopping and I'll just buy a whole bunch of stuff. But I buy a lot of fresh stuff, so I have to sometimes go every week. So what I did was, Olympia, all the kids are with their dads. And so yesterday I did my meal shopping, my grocery shopping. So I am meal prepping today. No excuses, because I have everything that I need at the house. And so that means that I'll eat on plan because I have meal prepped, and I'm really excited about that too. But even with not having meal prep last week, I stayed on goal. I stayed on plan, meaning that I ate intuitively. I didn't eat anything crazy. So I did good. Now, when I got on the scale today, the scale was acting crazy, but I think that's because my cycle is about to come on. So I'm not really judging myself, because I know that I'm doing the right thing. So those are my check-in. That's my check-in. Let's see what Sharon is saying. Sharon said that still not as motivated, but I pushed through. Good. Worked out twice this week. Awesome. Sometimes I'm afraid to go out, to go all out. I'm afraid that I won't have the energy to do everything else that I need to do. On the weekends I will, but not the weekdays. Okay, good, Sharon. So let's see. Let's start with 1. So you know what? When I'm dealing with motivation, Sharon, what I do is I really give myself a lot of grace. Because in order for you to develop a habit, it has to feel good. Like, whatever you're doing has to feel good to you. That's just how our brain works. And so if you find one thing that you can do in the beginning part that you really, really enjoy, and then focus your efforts on that thing that you really, really enjoy, your brain will want to keep doing it. And so don't do things when you start out that you hate. So if you hate walking, then don't walk the first couple of times. Or if you are walking, maybe walk for a really short period of time. If you really enjoy swimming, then that's what you want to do in the beginning, because you're trying to get your motivation up. And so find some things that you really, really enjoy, or find a part of working out that you really enjoy. Like me, if I post my picture at the end of my workout, that's like a reward. That's like, how you kids get stickers? Like, me posting my picture at the end of my workout is my sticker saying that I did it. And that's a reward, and that's a motivator for me to keep doing it. So sometimes you look forward to just getting through it so that you can post your picture. So whatever you can find that is really pleasant for you in the beginning stages, you focus most of your attention and your effort on that thing that you enjoy, so that your brain will want to do it more. I hope that makes sense. All right, but I'm glad that you pushed through and you got it in twice. That's really awesome. All right, so sometimes you don't want to go out at all. I feel you. And you're afraid that you don't want to have the energy to do all else that you need to do. I feel you. Yeah. So I pace myself. I know that if I need to, so I don't know if you weight lift yet, or if you are just cardio, but for me, like if I know that I want to make sure that my body is getting the most benefit from lifting weights, but I know that I also need to do some cardio that same day, I'm going to do really, really low to moderate cardio so that I can have most of my energy for weightlifting, because that is my goal for that day. So sometimes you might find it may benefit you to really plan your workouts and plan what your goal is. Like, is your goal to improve your heart? So cardio, then you focus your efforts on that part of it, because that's the most important thing in that day. Or if your goal is to make sure that you increase you PR in your deadlift, then you're going to want to, number one, you want to do that exercise first. Like how you time your exercises are important as well. So with me, I know that squats and deadlifts take a lot of my energy. So I do those exercises first. Like, I'll warm up and then I'll do my squats first, and then I do my deadlifts because they take a lot of energy. And so I do those first so that they get but they benefit the most too. And so I do those first in terms of making sure that I time it correctly, and then all the things that don't take as much energy, I put those last, because they just kind of it does a couple of things, but it just one of the biggest things that it does is that your muscles are going to be fatigued, and so it's going to feel the most from the last couple of exercises that you do. My goal is to one day tone up. I enjoy walking outside more. I'm doing push-ups and squats mostly for stress training. Good, there you go. So yeah. So just pacing, planning, and timing your exercises are really helpful to make sure that your body is getting the full benefit of whatever your focus is on for that day. Good, I'm glad that makes sense. All right, so I don't think that there's anyone else on that wants to share their check-in, but I'll be back next week, because this is mostly for me, because I need to make sure that I'm holding myself accountable. And so, because I have this goal that I'm working towards, which is being amazing. And so that's what I'm working for. So I'm going to do these check-ins until probably October, so that I can be amazing, and so that I can go back and see my progress throughout the year. So, all right, well, I'm going to log off. I have some work that I need to do before the little girl comes back with her dad. So yes, I hope you guys have a good Sunday. Oh, I have a 4 o'clock meetup with single moms from all over the country. There are moms that are coming in from California, from North Carolina, from all over the place. And did you know that today was Single Parents Day? I didn't know that. There was a single parenting was a thing, but it is a thing. And I know that because like a couple of years ago, this pastor invited me to like a single mom's dinner, and it was pretty cool. And so yes, Single Parents Day is a thing, and for Single Parents Day I'm actually having a meetup, a virtual meetup with some single moms that want to build their mommy tribe, and I'll do it twice a month, so it's every other week, every other Sunday at 4 o'clock. If you want to sign up, if you're a single mom that want to sign up, that want to build their mommy tribe, just to have fun, relate, relax, release, all those types of things, and just have somebody to talk to and to relate to, go to my bio. In the bio is my link, and you're going to see Mind, Body, Baby, North Carolina. It's an organization that I'm partnering with in my state, and we are going to meet up today at 4 o'clock via the phone. I think it's GoToMeeting, so make sure you download the app before the meeting so that you're not kind of behind. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.